Good morning. We are now recording and live.
Good morning, everyone. It is 10:01 on May 28th, and I'm calling this meeting of the Agricultural Labor Relations Board to order. First, we will first I'll call through the roll. Board Member Broad?
Present.
Board Member Flores?
Present.
Board Member Hall?
Present.
Board Member Lightstone?
Present.
Wonderful. And we have a quorum and a full board. Next, we will go through approving the most recent meeting minutes from May 14th. May I have a motion?
So moved.
May I have a second? Member Hall seconds. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The most recent meeting minutes are approved. For the chair's report, we don't have a lot, but I want to thank everyone for all their work and participation in the ALRA at 50 conference last week at UC Davis. Special thank you to Dr. Phil Martin and the School of Agricultural Economics for putting on a wonderful farm worker conference as they do every year, and then also giving us the space to commemorate and bring folks together who have helped implement the ALRA and shape it. It was exciting to meet some former board members who served last century in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and get their perspectives, as well as hear from some of our more recent former board members. So, and thank you to all the staff that assisted with it. It was fun to see folks from across the state, and we will be sharing more information, but we'll be seeking feedback from our staff just to get, so we can see how we can improve and what worked and what didn't. So thanks again. Next, I will turn it to our Executive Secretary, Santiago Villagomez, to present the Executive Officer's Report on elections, unfair labor practice complaints, and hearings.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair Hasid, members of the board, for today's report, which can be found on our website under the meetings tab. I have three general categories to report on. One is complaints settled since our last board meeting. Brimway Enterprises, Inc. That case number is 2023 CE 018 VIS involving the commodity of lettuce in Kern County. The General Counsel's Office filed a motion to take off calendar on May 23rd. The next matter also on May 23rd, we received a motion to take off calendar for Redwood Empire Vineyard Management, Inc., and that involves commodity of grapes in Sonoma County. Turning to administrative orders, the board issued 3 administrative orders, beginning with Admin Order 2025-02. Should mention that all of the administrative orders involve Wonderful Nurseries, LLC. The first 2025-02 is an order granting in part and denying in part applications for special permission to appeal the investigative hearing examiner's ruling on attorney-client privilege and attorney work product. The second admin order, 2025-03, is an order granting application for special permission to appeal investigative hearing examiner order on petition to revoke notice in lieu of subpoena. The first issued, actually both of them issued on May 16th and involved the case number 2024 RM 002. These admin orders, as well as the next admin order, are all found on our website under legal searches, administrative orders. Finally, a precedential order, administrative order that is board issued in Wonderful Nurseries involves 2025-04-P. P is designating it as presidential order denying Maria Esther Gutierrez's application for special permission to appeal interim order of investigative hearing examiner, denying in part petition to revoke subpoena. Mouthful. Also, that one was issued on May 23rd and also involved 2024 RM 002 as the case number. Finally, turning to pending matters, there is CYMA Orchids Corporation, case number 2023 CE-016 SAL. Their exceptions to the underlying administrative law judge's decision were filed on April 29th. A reply was filed on May 13th, and briefing is complete in that matter. That concludes my report. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Santiago. No questions. And thanks to our team here who worked to get those 3 orders out in short succession, including our administrative clerical team. Really appreciate that. Next, I'll see, do we have a litigation report today, Laura?
Yeah, there are some updates.
Okay. Ever thus, yes.
So no updates in the matter in State Court of Appeal, 5th District. That is waiting, scheduling a oral argument. So no update there, but in the matter in the Eastern District of California, back in February, this is Wonderful Nurseries LLC versus ALRB, case number 1:2-4-CV-01601-KES-CDB. Back in February, Wonderful employees represented by the National Right to Work Legal Defense Foundation filed a motion to intervene. The board opposed that. The UFW also filed a motion to intervene around the same time, and the board didn't take a position on that. There was not a hearing on either motion. Rather, the court decided on the papers, and on May 13th granted the intervention motions for both the UFW and the individual employees. Gave them 14 days to file an amended complaint. So I haven't checked to see if that's been filed yet. Actually, I don't think it's quite due yet. But when it is filed, the board's motion to dismiss the individual employee's complaint will be due July 7th. The individual employees had until yesterday to file a response to the board's pending motion to dismiss. I haven't received word that was filed, but assuming it has been, the board will have until June 6th to file a reply. And then the hearing on the motion to dismiss with respect to the individual employees is tentatively scheduled for August 18th. The judge has also issued an order in this matter and in Olive Hill Greenhouses / Western Growers Association versus ALRB, directing parties to show cause why the 2 cases should not be consolidated. The response to the OSC is due June 2nd. In Chavez et al. Versus ALRB, case number BCV-25-100649. This is a matter in Kern County, filed again by various employees of Wonderful, alleging that the majority support petition process violates various provisions of the state constitution. In that matter, the court has related this matter to the Wonderful Nurseries matter that also originated in Kern County Superior Court, and there's a case management conference set for July 18th at 8:30. And then finally, in the Olive Hill Greenhouses and Western Growers Association versus ALRB, case number 1:25-CV-00577-JLT-BAN. The plaintiffs filed a motion for preliminary injunction back at late April. The ALRB filed its response on May 15th. And I can't remember if I previously reported on this, but on May 13th, the court transferred this matter to the Eastern District.
Yeah,
Did I already report
I think
on
you
that?
did.
Okay. So it's assigned to the same judge, Judge Sheriff. And again, as I previously said, he has issued an order to show cause why the two cases shouldn't be consolidated. The hearing on the motion for preliminary injunction in that case is tentatively set for June 2nd. The board's response to the complaint, which will be a motion to dismiss, is due on June 9th. The hearing on the motion to dismiss is tentatively set for August 4th, but it may be changed to August 18th to pair with the hearing on the motion to dismiss in wonderful Nurseries matter. That's all I have. Happy to answer any questions.
That's all, huh?
There's a lot of moving parts, aren't there?
Yeah. Maybe they'll all get consolidated.
Yeah, it sounds like there's.
All right, thank you so much, appreciate that. I don't have any questions, do any of my colleagues? Okay, next we'll turn it over to General Counsel Julie Montgomery for her report.
Good morning. 3 settlements to report on today. One is a charge involving Edwin Brazil Dairy, in which a dairy worker in Tulare County filed a charge against the dairy in late June 2023, alleging that the dairy retaliated against him by terminating his employment because he and his co-workers engaged in protected activity by requesting that the dairy hire additional workers to help with the heavy workload. And the dairy and the ALRB reached a settlement in which the company will pay the worker lost wages of $2,035 and standard noticing remedies. We also reached a settlement in Grimway Enterprises, and in that case, a lettuce harvester in Kern County filed a charge against Grimway in late July 2023, alleging that Grimway retaliated against her by terminating her because she spoke up about inappropriate practices, verbal harassment, and mistreatment by the forewoman towards her and coworkers. And this was on behalf of herself and coworkers. And the parties reached an agreement in which Grimway will pay the worker $9,441 in lost wages. It also includes a standard noticing remedy and supervisor training. And that case was set to go to hearing, I think fairly soon. So that was a complaint that was settled prior to hearing. And then finally, we have Redwood Empire Vineyard Management. And I briefly mentioned that for those of you that were at the Davis conference last week, but that case involved vineyard workers who filed charges against the company, claiming they were retaliated against by being issued written warnings and not being rehired because of their affiliation with the local nonprofit North Bay Jobs with Justice, who was organizing protests and marches of workers asking for fair wages and other improvements in working conditions. And the Redwood Empire Vineyard Management also had language in employment contract that they required workers to sign, stating that they understood they would be fired if they tried to renegotiate wage rates. And the ALRB settled with the company and with the charging party, which was North Bay Jobs with Justice, for $33,548 to the workers, reinstatement offers, and agreements to respect workers' rights under the Act. And the company is also rescinding the employment contract language that violates the Act. And we also have standard notice remedies and supervisor training in that case. And there is a press conference this afternoon in Healdsburg in, I think it's Sonoma County. And that's happening at 4:30, and our regional director, Yesenia DeLuna, will be attending on behalf of the ALRB along with the local staff there. And North Bay Jobs is just like we've actually organize the conference, but we're gonna be given some time to speak as well. So we're gonna look for some additional media coverage on that case. And then just outreach, outreach team has been busy as always. Just a few highlights. They provided a virtual worker training to a committee of workers through CRLA, Health and Rural Legal Assistance in Oxnard. We have folks, attorneys holding office hours in Lamont and also San Paula at nonprofits in those rural communities as usual. We attended a meeting hosted by CBDIO, which is Centro Binacional para el Desarrollo Indígena Oaxaqueño in Salinas. There was a spring resource fair hosted by Assemblywoman Soria's office in Fresno County. I believe she's been having several around the valley, and so we've been attending those and providing information to workers. There was also a resource fair in Thermal, which is in Riverside County, hosted by United Farm Worker Foundation that our staff attended. And there's one in Oxnard through Swap Meet Justice, resource fair in Sacramento, organized by the Mexican consulate that we had some staff attend, and Farmer Appreciation Day through a nonprofit in Fillmore, which is also in more like eastern or rural Ventura County. So those are just a few of the events that our staff have been covering, gearing up for peak harvest periods in a lot of these areas. And that concludes my report.
Great, thank you so much. I don't have any questions or comments. Do any of my colleagues? Okay. I don't believe we have a Division of Administrative Services report today, or a legislative report, or a regulatory report. So we will go next to public comment. For those of you that reached out ahead of time, we will go to those first in the queue. If you still wish to make a public comment, we welcome you to do so at this time. You can let us know in a couple of ways. You can either email Santiago or Satya, and their contact information is on the agenda on our homepage, or you can message them, I believe, in Zoom, or use the raise hand feature. We ask that you go on mute if you are not speaking, and also a gentle reminder that we cannot discuss or respond to any questions or comments on pending case matters before the board. So I'll go to Santiago. Do we have anyone in the queue?
No one in the queue at this time. I will ask our attendees to indicate whether they wish to make public comment by raising their hand, or I believe sending chats is not an option. So raise your hand or email as described by the chair earlier.
Give it 1 minute.
No hands raised.
Okay, we will close public comment, and the board will now recess into closed session. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It is 11:35 a.m. and the board has returned from closed session. Our next agenda item is announcements. The next board meeting will be Wednesday, June 11th at 10 a.m., both here in Sacramento and online. And that concludes today's meeting. We're now adjourned again at 11:35 a.m. Thank you, everyone. Bye.